Chapter 1130. On the platform, Yang Patian and Kong Lin had grave expressions. Underworld child, unscrupulous monk, and the arch-god were all shocked. My hair, my Buddha. Damn his mercy. What a monster. Unscrupulous monk chanted a strange Buddhist name. What terrifying power. There was a grave look in Lu Ming's eyes. Lu Ming could vaguely feel that Long Chen's bloodline was not to be underestimated. It was definitely a terrifying bloodline. After defeating Tuoba Shi, Long Chen's arm returned to normal and he stood there calmly. He was very ordinary, but no one dared to look down on him, not even the sovereigns. As long as such a prodigy did not die, he would definitely become an sovereign in the future. He might even reach a higher level and dominate the divine wilderness. Such a prodigy was rare even since ancient times. Now, there were only 7 people left on the platform. The 7 of them looked at each other. Yang Patian, let's fight. A 5-colored light flashed and Kong Lin appeared in front of Yang Patian. Among the 5 giants of the central continent, Yang Patian was ranked 3rd and Kong Lin was ranked 4th. In the Battle of Providence, Kong Lin had lost to Yang Patian by a small margin. Today, he was going to win and avenge his humiliation. Then I'll defeat you again. Yang Patian was very confident. He pointed his halberd at Kong Lin and the void shook. On the other hand, 5-colored light bloomed on Kong Lin's body. Metal, wood, water, fire, and earth, the 5 elements. The 5 elements peacock was born with the ability to control the 5 elements. It was extremely powerful. Of course, this kind of control was different from a martial artist comprehending 5 intents at the same time. This was because the 5 elements of the 5 elements peacock were separated, unlike Lu Ming who had merged the 5 elements. The 5 elements peacock was only blessed in controlling the 5 elements. Kong Lin had 90% of the 5 elements peacock's bloodline and naturally inherited the talent to control the 5 elements. Whoosh! Whoosh! The 2 of them moved at the same time and charged at each other. Bam! Bam! At this moment, Lu Ming stepped out and walked toward one of them. The arch-god. Lu Ming walked toward the arch-god. The arch-god stared at Lu Ming with a grave expression. You should go down. Lu Ming said indifferently. Have I seen you before? Dishan stared at Lu Ming. He felt that Dishan's temperament was very similar to Lu Ming's. Really? Don't tell me there's someone as invincible as me in this world. Lu Ming grinned. His blood-red hair fluttered in the wind as boundless killing intent swept towards the arch-god. Although your battle prowess is strong, you can't do anything to me if I want to dodge. Dishan said. He was confident in his space will. Really? Lu Ming sneered. His blood-colored spear stabbed out like a bolt of blood-colored lightning. The space around Dishan rippled like water. He moved his body and disappeared from where he was, reappearing 100 meters away. The concept of space is indeed wondrous, but in my eyes, it can't withstand a single blow. Lu Ming took a step forward and formed a seal with both hands. A door of light appeared, emitting a brilliant light that suppressed the monarch god. The emperor deity's expression changed drastically because he suddenly felt like he had fallen into a quagmire and could not move. Not only him, but even space itself had been sealed. This is the 9 seals of the divine gate. An emperor suddenly stood up and exclaimed in shock. It's the 9 seals of the divine gate, the peerless martial art of the sky-sealing emperor back then. I didn't expect it to be mastered by Lu Shaoqing. Another old emperor said. More than 100,000 years ago, this peerless martial art was famous in the world. It was the peerless martial art of an emperor, but with the passing of that emperor, this peerless martial art disappeared from the world. Unexpectedly, it reappeared today. The other onlookers were secretly shocked. It turned out that this was an emperor peerless martial art. Space travel. Dishan roared and unleashed his full strength. The space around his body trembled violently as he tried to break free from Lu Ming's seal. Then add another one. Lu Ming moved his hand, and another divine gate appeared and suppressed the emperor deity. This time, the emperor deity's body was completely immobilized. During this period, Lu Ming did not stop cultivating the 9 seals of the divine gate. After several months of hard work, Lu Ming could already condense 2 divine gates of the 9 seals of the divine gate, greatly increasing the power of the seal. Whoosh! The blood-red spear turned into a ray of light, piercing through the void and piercing through the emperor deity's chest. Bang! The spear shook, and the emperor deity's body flew far away. He flew out of the platform and vomited blood. You're too weak. I won't kill you today because of the sacred emperor, but I'll definitely kill you when I meet you in the future. Lu Ming said coldly. If it weren't for the rule that he couldn't kill his opponent today, he would have killed the emperor deity instead of just severely injuring him. However, the emperor deity was no longer a threat to Lu Ming. If he wanted to kill him, he would have plenty of opportunities in the future. The emperor deity kept vomiting blood. His face was pale as he barely floated in the air. He stared at Lu Ming and roared, "We must have met before. Who are you?" Lu Ming did not look at him again. He turned around and watched the battle between Yang Padian and Kong Lin. Yang Potion's space will was much stronger than the emperor deity's, and he had also mastered other wills. In the end, a purple-gold halberd floated above his head. The 9 golden chakras were extremely dazzling. 9th grade divine level bloodline. Overlord level Skyprides had awakened 9th grade divine level bloodlines. Is this the legendary halberd of the void? Someone exclaimed. Yang Potion's bloodline was a legendary supreme divine weapon, the halberd of the void. It could shatter the void and cut open the void. Yang Padian used the bloodline fusion and turned into the halberd of the void. His battle strength was even more terrifying. Kong Lin also turned into a 5-colored peacock. Unfortunately, he was still no match for Yang Padian. After dozens of exchanges, Kong Lin was completely suppressed and was forced to retreat. In the end, Kong Lin roared and left the platform. Kong Lin was defeated. Now, there were only 5 people left on the platform. Long Chen, Underworld Child, Unscrupulous Monk, Yang Padian, and Lu Ming. Each of them was an extremely powerful existence with unparalleled battle strength. The battle had reached the most critical moment. As long as 2 more people were defeated, the top 3 would be determined. Tell me, who do you think is stronger and weaker among the 5 of them? The crowd began to discuss. Long Chen is undoubtedly the strongest. He defeated Tuoba Shi, who was no weaker than Yang Padian, with 1 punch. His battle strength is unfathomable. As for the other 4, it's hard to say. I think Unscrupulous Monk, Underworld Child, and Lu Shaoqing are about the same. Yang Padian is slightly weaker. Not necessarily. Yang Padian is very strong. He might not be weaker than the other 3. I don't think he's weak either. The next battle is the pinnacle. Everyone expressed their opinions one by one. I have hair. Benefactor, why don't we exchange a few blows? Unscrupulous Monk chanted the name of Buddha. His white cassock fluttered as he walked toward Yang Padian. That's exactly what I want. Monk, you were the one who put out the fake Sacred Mansion token in the Sacred Mansion's secret realm. It's time to settle the score. Chapter 1131. Benefactor misunderstood. Benefactor Lu misunderstood back then as well. Someone must have framed this little monk. This little monk is a monk with a compassionate heart. How could I do such a thing? Who slandered this little monk? Tell me, and I'll slap him to death. Unscrupulous Monk put his palms together, looking solemn. The first part of his speech was normal, but the last part made everyone look at each other. Outside the platform, Moonless Bodhisattva put her palms together, the veins on her face throbbing. Yang Potion's lips trembled as he said, "There's no need to say any more. Let me test the Venerable's methods." Without wasting any time, Yang Padian turned into a halberd and started a huge battle with Unscrupulous Monk. Without a doubt, Unscrupulous Monk's bloodline was also a grade 9 divine grade bloodline. It was a golden Buddha with a solemn appearance and a compassionate face, giving off boundless Buddhist light. Everyone was speechless. How could a weirdo like Unscrupulous Monk awaken such a supreme Buddhist bloodline? The battle between the two took up half of the platform. Lu Shaoqing, let's fight. A black light flashed, an underworld child appeared before Lu Ming. Fight. There was no need for words. Lu Ming spat out a single word, his battle intent soaring. As long as he defeated Underworld Child, Unscrupulous Monk and Yang Padian would fight it out, and Lu Ming would enter the top 3. His goal was to enter the top 3, and he had to enter the top 3. Boundless black underworld chi erupted from Underworld Child's body. Ghostly cries came from within, sounding extremely horrifying. A saber appeared in Underworld Child's hand. It was a black scimitar, and evil spirits appeared on it as if they were about to crawl out. Whoosh! Underworld Child charged at Lu Ming and chopped down with his scimitar. Ghostly cries and wolf howls filled the air. Kill! Lu Ming roared, his killing intent surging. The blood-red spear turned back into a drop of blood and floated above Lu Ming's head. Lu Ming executed the hell-suppressing heavenly art and sent out a palm strike, clashing with Underworld Child's saber light. Bang! 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 Intense collisions rang out as the two of them exchanged more than a dozen blows in an instant. How cold! What a strange attack! Lu Ming felt a chill all over his body. Not only that, but even his spiritual spirit also felt cold. Underworld Child's attacks not only damaged his physical body but also his spiritual spirit. 5 colored concepts swirled about, forming a battle armor that covered his entire body. True essence flowed endlessly, blocking the Underworld Child's strange attack. At the same time, Underworld Child's every palm strike. Underworld Chi, Underworld Child's. However, the Underworld Child was indeed terrifying. Even amongst the young tycoons, he was a peak existence. He had awakened a 9th-level divine bloodline. The power of his bloodline was also extremely terrifying. The bloodline's secret skills and bloodline martial skills that were comprehended from the bloodline were extremely powerful. The augmentation of a level 9 divine bloodline far surpassed the augmentation of 7 dragon energies. Moreover, the Netherworld Child's intent realm was very terrifying. It had many different types. Although it did not have as many types as Lu Ming, its level was higher than Lu Ming's and its power was not too far off from Lu Ming. It could be said that geniuses who had reached the level of young tycoons were very strong in all aspects and were very well-rounded. Lu Ming's bloodline was only at the 7th level of the divine rank. On the other hand, the 3rd bloodline possessed endless power. However, Lu Ming did not dare to borrow too much of it. The more he borrowed, the stronger his murderous intent would be. Lu Ming would be controlled by the endless murderous intent. Once he lost control of himself and was dominated by the murderous intent, he would become a walking corpse, a puppet that only knew how to kill. Of course, as Lu Ming's cultivation increased, his control over himself became stronger, and the power he could borrow also became stronger. Now, compared to when he was at the 1st level of the spirit god realm, the power he could borrow had increased by a lot. In the blink of an eye, the two of them had exchanged dozens of moves. 9 seals of the Divine Gate. Lu Ming formed a seal, and 2 divine gates appeared to suppress the Underworld Child. Hell's Gate. A large black gate appeared in front of Underworld Child's body. The gate shone and quickly enlarged, unexpectedly blocking the sealed gate. Death God, appear. Immediately, a black figure appeared above Underworld Child's head. This figure was covered in a black cloak, and its appearance couldn't be seen clearly. Only 2 balls of red flames danced and burned in its eyes. This figure held a black scythe in its hand, and black flames danced on it. Death God, the legendary Death God. This was Underworld Child's bloodline, and without a doubt, it was at the 9th level of the divine rank. 12 Capital Heaven Battle Formation. Underworld Child transformed into the Death God, and a cold and unpleasant voice sounded. The death god moved, and actually turned into 12 figures that charged at Lu Ming. Lu Ming used the sealed gate again, but he could only seal 2 of them. The other masters still charged at Lu Ming. Boom! 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 Lu Ming punched continuously, constantly activating the hell-suppressing heavenly art and increasing its power as he fought against the 10 death gods. 10 punches landed on the 10 sides of the death gods, forcing them back. However, Lu Ming's face turned pale. What a strange attack, what terrifying power. Lu Ming's eyes turned serious. The physical attacks of the death gods weren't very strong, but they had a strange power that could directly penetrate the body and attack the spiritual god. In other words, they were attacking the soul of the spiritual god. Underworld Child's attacks could directly penetrate the soul and destroy it, killing without leaving a trace. If not for the fact that Lu Ming had consumed the spirit-refining fruit and a large number of spirit-refining pills, causing his spirit to be very condensed and surpass others, he might not have been able to withstand it. Even so, Lu Ming's spiritual god was still trembling, and his soul felt like it was being torn apart. Kill! Underworld Child attacked again. At this time, the sealed gate had lost its effect, and 12 underworld gods charged at Lu Ming. Every single one of them seemed to be real. Lu Ming controlled the 5 intents and formed a 5-colored battle suit on his spiritual god. Then, he fought with the death gods. With the 5-colored battle suit protecting his spiritual god, it was slightly better. However, his spiritual god was still under constant attack and trembling. If this continued, his spiritual god would suffer unimaginable injuries. The spiritual divinity was the foundation of a martial artist. It was where the essence, energy, and spirit resided. If the spiritual divinity was injured too severely, it would greatly affect one's future cultivation. Looks like Lu Shaoqing is going to lose. He's not a match for Underworld Child. Legend has it that Underworld Child's bloodline can directly attack one's soul and kill without leaving a trace. It's very strange and powerful. It's impossible to defend against. Speaking of which, Lu Shaoqing's bloodline is very strange. It doesn't have a chakra. I also noticed this. It's strange, but there are all kinds of strange things in the world. Maybe he cultivated some kind of secret technique that concealed his chakra. Everyone discussed as they looked at the platform. At this time, Lu Ming and Underworld Child's battle seemed to be a draw. However, those who understood Underworld Child knew that if this continued, Lu Ming would definitely be at a disadvantage and lose. On the other side, Heartless Monk had already gained the upper hand in his battle with Yang Padian. I must win this battle. No matter the price. Lu Ming's eyes were filled with determination. He couldn't lose this battle. He had to use this opportunity to take away Xian Yanqing. He had to win. Chapter 1132. Lu Shaoqing, lose. Reap the Reaper. A cold and unpleasant voice could be heard. The death sickles in the hands of the 12 Grim Reapers drew a mysterious and strange arc, slashing toward Lu Ming. The 12 Reaper scythes covered all directions. Underworld Child, you're the one who will lose today. Lu Ming gave a long howl. Roar! The next moment, there was an earth-shattering roar of a dragon. 9 dragons appeared above Lu Ming's head and a vast dragon power spread out. Lu Ming turned into a ray of light and entered the 9 dragons. 9 dragons stomping the sky. Boom! Boom! The 9 dragons took 7 steps with their claws, each step stronger than the previous one. The powerful energy forced the 12 Reapers back. 9 dragons, Lu Ming, it's Lu Ming. He's Lu Ming. At this moment, a few people shouted in disbelief. The Archgod, the Patriarch of the Wang family and the Patriarch of the Jiang family shouted in unison. They were too familiar with the 9 dragons' bloodline. There could only be one person with the 9 dragons' bloodline, and that was Lu Ming. How is that possible? How can Lu Ming be here? The Patriarch of the Wang family murmured in disbelief. We saw Lu Ming at the Talisman Puppets sect before we came to the Middle Continent. Did Lu Ming come to the Middle Continent through the teleportation array? But how is that possible? Isn't the Talisman Puppets sect cut off contact with the forces of the Middle Continent? The patriarch of the Jiang family mumbled. Even though they didn't believe it, the Nine Dragons bloodline told them that the person in front of them was Lu Ming. Lu Ming, it's him. No wonder I felt that his aura was familiar. The arch-god shouted. His eyes were cold and filled with killing intent. He couldn't accept that the person in front of him was Lu Ming. The person who defeated him so easily was Lu Ming. Originally, he had been full of confidence. His concept of space had long since reached the 4th level, and it was becoming more and more terrifying. His cultivation had also broken through to the spirit god realm. He was fully confident that when he faced Lu Ming again, he would be able to easily defeat him and avenge the humiliation he had suffered in the Battle of Destiny. However, reality was cruel. Lu Ming had become even more powerful, far surpassing him, and could easily defeat him. Right now, Lu Ming was like a huge mountain in front of him. At the scene, there was another person who was also incomparably shocked, and that was Xie Zhen. Lu Ming, Lu Shaoqing is Lu Ming. He roared in disbelief as a terrifying killing intent burst out from his eyes. Looking at the Nine Dragons bloodline in front of him, the scenes of the past in Nine Dragons City appeared in his mind. What? Lu Ming. What Lu Ming? I heard that the top genius of the Eastern Barren Territory is called Lu Ming. Could it be him? It can't be. Is he a genius from the Eastern Wilderness? The surrounding onlookers were in an uproar as they discussed animatedly, feeling that it was inconceivable. Just how many identities does he have? At first, he was the commander of the ancient Saint Dynasty's law enforcement army. Then, he was recognized as the famous Lu Shaoqing, and now, it was Lu Ming. Many people were already in disarray. I don't care who you are. Kill! The 12 Grim Reapers roared as they charged towards Lu Ming. Roar! The 9 dragons roared as a terrifying devouring power burst out from their mouths, enveloping the 12 Grim Reapers. Borrow power! With a thought, a trace of blood-red energy from the 3rd bloodline flowed into the 9 dragons' bodies, causing a layer of blood-red light to appear on the 9 dragons' bodies. Boom! Boom! The 9 dragons stepped forward and aimed at one of the Grim Reapers. After 7 steps, the Grim Reapers exploded. The divine dragon swung its tail and unleashed the power of the heaven-suppressing Hell Art, shattering the other Grim Reapers. The 9 dragons slithered upwards and pounced on Lu Ming and the other 2 Grim Reapers. Enveloped by the devouring power of the 9 dragons, Underworld Child felt his essence blood, true essence, and bloodline power become unstable. His strength was greatly affected. On the other hand, Lu Ming unleashed his full power and used the bloodline fusion art. He was even stronger than before, and the situation was reversed. Lu Ming had the upper hand. However, Underworld Child wasn't willing to admit defeat, so he used all his strength to fight against Lu Ming. However, after a few moves, another Grim Reapers was defeated. As time passed, more Grim Reapers were defeated. After dozens of moves, only 1 Grim Reapers was left on the platform. Bam! After being struck by the 9 dragons' claws, the Grim Reapers were forced to retreat. So powerful! Everyone was shocked. After Lu Ming unleashed his bloodline, his battle strength had increased by a level and had completely surpassed Underworld Child. 9 Dragons Bloodline, one of the top 10 battle beasts. Interesting. At the side of the platform, Long Chen, who had been unmoved, muttered under his breath as his eyes flashed. However, no one heard him. Dong! Dong! The 9 dragons stepped in the air and pounced on the last Grim Reapers. Bam! Although the Grim Reapers tried their best to resist, they were already at the end of their rope. How could they stop Lu Ming? Their bodies exploded, revealing Underworld Child's true body. His face was pale, and his body flashed backward rapidly. The 9 dragons chased after him. Underworld Child's expression changed. In the end, he sighed and left the platform. Leaving the platform meant that he had admitted defeat. He knew that there was no need to continue fighting, so he could only admit defeat. Seeing that underworld child had admitted defeat, the 9 dragons' bodies shrunk rapidly. In the next moment, a handsome young man appeared on the platform. This was Lu Ming's original appearance. It was also the appearance that he had used when he was using the name Lu Shaoqing. At this moment, almost everyone's gaze fell on Lu Ming. "Lu Ming, it's really you!" The Wang family patriarch roared. His killing intent was extremely strong, and a powerful aura spread out from his body. "What are you doing?" A cold shout sounded in the Wang family patriarch's ears, causing his body to tremble and his aura to weaken rapidly. It was the voice of an emperor. All the emperors were gathered here. Now that the emperor had not spoken, how could he release his killing intent? "Lu Ming." The arch clenched his fists tightly, his veins popping out. The people of the Arch Deity Palace were really shocked and surprised. They did not understand why Lu Ming would appear here. "Lu Ming, it's really him. I didn't expect him to be so strong." The Heavenly Corpse sect Shuejiani, Shizhan, and the Heavenly Monster Valleys Ao2 and Feng Xian all sighed in disbelief. It had been almost 2 years since the last Battle of Providence. During these 2 years, they had been improving, but Lu Ming's improvement was even more shocking. He had already left them far behind. Even the top geniuses of the Divine Wilderness continent had been defeated by Lu Ming. He was already standing at the peak of the Divine Wilderness continent's younger generation. As for them, they were still too far away. Is he really Lu Ming? I didn't expect such a terrifying genius to appear in the Eastern Wilderness. Someone in the crowd said with a complicated voice. The Eastern Wilderness had always been the weakest. Previously, everyone had said that only the Arch was decent. The other geniuses of the Eastern Wilderness were not worth mentioning. But now, Lu Ming had appeared. He had suppressed everyone and was destined to enter the top 3. So he is Lu Ming. Chapter 1133. Everyone looked at Lu Ming and all kinds of thoughts flashed across their minds. However, most of them were amazed by Lu Ming's strength. "Brother Lu, you've kept us in the dark." Outside the platform, Sandalwood Fairy spoke, as if she was rebuking him. "I'm sorry, Fairy. Lu Ming had to do it." Lu Ming cupped his fists and said. Since he had already exposed himself, he would admit it. It seems that this is a great era. Even the Eastern Wilderness has someone like Lu Ming. Yeah, this is a golden age. We can't underestimate any region. There might be powerful elites everywhere. Someone exclaimed. Lu Ming's battle achievements were too dazzling. Previously, Lu Shaoqing's name had already shaken the central continent. Recently, he had even defeated Lu Yusen, the Arch, Lion Du, the Cerberus, and the Underworld Child consecutively. 3 of them were supreme geniuses. His battle achievements were too glorious. Lu Ming, Lu Ming, Lu Ming from the Eastern Wilderness. He's from the Eastern Wilderness. His powerful devouring power should be the talent of the 9 dragons. Sanguinarium stared at Lu Ming. No one knew what he was thinking. Similarly, many elites of the Tianwu sword sect also had murderous intent in their eyes. However, no one dared to do so on such an occasion. Boom! Boom! At this moment, the violent roars on the platform finally pulled everyone back from their thoughts. Everyone shifted their gazes away from Lu Ming. The battle between Heartless Monk and Yang Patian had also reached its final stage. Yang Patian was no match for Heartless Monk. After 100 moves, he was defeated by Heartless Monk and blasted out of the platform. At this point, the top 3 were born. They were Long Chen, Lu Ming, and Heartless Monk. Many people were looking forward to it. Now, the 3 of them were all terrifyingly strong and unfathomable. Needless to say, Long Chen had always been the most powerful elite. He was the first to become a spirit god and was invincible among his peers. Just now, he had defeated Tuobashir with 1 punch, which shocked everyone. Heartless Monk, the Western Desert's eccentric holy monk, was extremely strong and had defeated Yang Padian. He kept smiling and looked harmless, making people feel that he was unfathomable. Lu Ming could be considered the strongest dark horse this time. First, he had transformed into Lu Shaoqing, then he had transformed into the commander of the law enforcement army. He had slaughtered his way here, defeating numerous experts and even a prodigy like the underworld child. His strength was unfathomable. Everyone was looking forward to the clash between the three. Everyone was looking forward to seeing if Lu Ming or the unscrupulous monk could force out Long Chen's true strength. That was because until now, no one knew how strong Long Chen was. My hair. Monk Wuliang chanted the name of Buddha and looked at Lu Ming. Huh, benefactor, so your name is Lu Ming. Nice to meet you. Monk, we've met several times. Lu Ming smiled. Haha, that's right. Benefactor Lu's combat strength is profound and admirable. I didn't expect you to defeat the underworld child. I fought with the underworld child many times in the past, but I couldn't defeat him. Since you defeated him, I'm no match for you. I admit defeat. Monk Wuliang chuckled, then turned around and stepped off the platform. Monk Wuliang admitted defeat. Now, only Lu Ming and Long Chen were left. The Nine Dragons bloodline. Interesting. I'd like to see the power of the Nine Dragons bloodline. Long Chen, who had been silent all this time, finally spoke. He looked at Lu Ming with anticipation in his eyes. This kind of anticipation was like a person who had been invincible for too long and had no opponents. Now that he suddenly saw an opponent, he revealed that kind of anticipation. Yes, Long Chen had been invincible for too long. He had been invincible among the younger generation. He needed an opponent and longed for one. Without a doubt, in his heart, Lu Ming could become his opponent. This was not arrogance, but his true thoughts. I'd like to fight with you, but unfortunately, I'm not interested in the first place. After saying that, Lu Ming moved and left the platform. Lu Ming's target was the second or third place. He didn't want to take the first place at all. The first place was to marry Xian Yanlin. Lu Ming only wanted the second or third place to make the sacred emperor agree to one of his conditions. Lu Ming actually admitted defeat. What a pity. It's really a pity. Many people sighed. They thought that they would be able to see a peak battle, but the result was unexpected. First, Monk Wuliang admitted defeat. Then, Lu Ming also admitted defeat directly. In this way, this competition ended just like that. Alright, this competition ends here. Long Chen has taken the first place and will be engaged to my daughter, Xian Yanlin, soon. Xia Qitian stood up and announced. Besides Xia Qitian, Xian Yanlin smiled happily. On the platform, Long Chen looked at Xian Yanlin with a smile on his face. Not many people knew that Long Chen and Xian Yanlin had feelings for each other and had been secretly dating for a long time. This competition was just a formality. Xian Yanlin and Xia Qitian knew that Long Chen would take the first place without any suspense. It was impossible for anyone to defeat Long Chen. Xia Qitian could also take this opportunity to win over many overlord forces and establish good relations with them. It was killing many birds with one stone. From now on, the Heavenly Sun Palace and the Imperial Xia family will be married. The Imperial family will be even more powerful. Someone sighed secretly. Long Chen came from the Heavenly Sun Palace, an extremely powerful overlord force. Long Chen and Xian Yanlin's marriage meant that the two forces would be strong in the future. In this generation of the Imperial family, there are many geniuses. Xian Yanjuan, Xian Yanlin, and Xia Yan are all top geniuses. Is the Imperial family going to return to glory? The Imperial family's luck is indeed strong. In the future, with the marriage with the Heavenly Sun Palace, there is a possibility that the two strongest geniuses will rise. However, other forces may not let them rise as they wish. In the dark, some people whispered to each other. The marriage between the Imperial family and the Heavenly Sun Palace had far-reaching effects. And Lu Ming, heartless monk. Xia Qitian looked at Lu Ming and Heartless Monk. The two of them flew onto the platform and bowed to Xia Qitian. I agree. For the second and third place, I can promise you one thing. What do you want to ask for? Lu Ming, you go first. Xia Qitian looked at Lu Ming. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. It was finally time. He had been waiting for this moment. The Wang family patriarch, Jiang family patriarch, Di Shen, and the others were also nervous. If Lu Ming asked for the sacred emperor to protect him against De, it would be troublesome. De could do nothing against the ancient Saint dynasty. Sacred emperor, Lu Ming has no other request. I only ask for one thing, and that is to set Nianqing free. Lu Ming cupped his fists and said. Xia Qitian frowned. The others were also stunned. Chapter 1134. No one had expected Lu Ming's request to set someone free. Nianqing? Who is that? Many people were curious. This name is very similar to the two princesses. I heard that the royal family has a little princess whose bloodline is different from the royal family. Could it be that Lu Ming is talking about this little princess? Someone guessed. In the end, many people sighed. Lu Ming's request was not worth it. It was a waste of a great opportunity. However, Lu Ming's gaze was firm. In his heart, this was the most important thing. The Wang family head, Jiang family head, the arch-god, and the others heaved a sigh of relief. They were really afraid that Lu Ming would ask Xia Qitian to protect him. How foolish. The Wang family head laughed in his heart. Lu Ming, don't be delusional. Xia Nianqing is different. You want to set her free? What a joke. Also, back in Jiulong City in the eastern wilderness, you were the one who repeatedly obstructed us and injured the royal family's people. How dare you say such words today? How audacious. Xia Zhen got up and looked at Lu Ming coldly, berating him loudly. What? How dare you injure the royal family's people? Lu Ming, you sneaked into the enforcer troop and purposely destroyed the relationship between the royal family and the other overlords. What are your intentions? A middle-aged man stood up and said coldly. Lu Ming recognized that this man was the royal uncle, Xie Qiyu, who had appeared when Lu Ming was confronting the Sky Martial Sword sect's elders at the Enforcer Hall. Because of Lu Ming, their relationship with the Sky Martial Sword sect had deteriorated, forcing Xie Qiyu to appear. He was already unhappy with Lu Ming, so he naturally came out to scold him. She is indeed the little princess of the royal family. That weirdo. Xia Zhen's words made everyone's heart skip a beat. But how did Lu Ming get to know the little princess? It seemed that in the eastern wasteland, the imperial family had suffered losses at the hands of Lu Ming. This Lu Ming was really a monster. Lu Ming glanced coldly at Xie Zhen and Xie Qiyu before ignoring them. He faced the Saint Emperor and said, Saint Emperor, you said that as long as I get into the top 3, I can make a request of you. My request is to set Nianqing free. I can give up everything else, including entering the Saint Emperor Ancient Palace. Lu Ming's posture was ramrod straight. He was neither servile nor overbearing, and his gaze was firm. Xia Qitian frowned even more. His face turned cold as he said, Lu Ming, this won't do. You'd better change your condition. There was no room for doubt in his tone. Xia Qitian's meaning was very clear. It was impossible for him to do that. However, Lu Ming would not give up just like that. Holy Emperor, why not? Is it because Nianqing's bloodline is different from the rest of the imperial family? Could it be that only those with pure and holy blood were from the Xia clan? Those who lean towards the dark bloodline are not from the Xia clan. Please forgive me for my humble opinion. This way of thinking is too pedantic. Lu Ming's voice resounded throughout the area, silencing everyone. Almost everyone looked at Lu Ming in shock. How dare Lu Ming talk to the Saint Emperor like that? Even a fool could tell that Lu Ming was implying that the Saint Emperor was pedantic. He was really audacious. Even other emperors did not dare to speak to Xie Qitian in this manner. Lu Ming's words were simply too shocking. How dare you? Lu Ming, you lowly ant. How dare you talk to my father like that? You're courting death. Xie Zhen roared. You deserve to die and your entire family should be exterminated. Xie Qiu shouted coldly. Although his words were short, they were filled with killing intent. Xie Qitian did not speak. He was still frowning slightly. No one knew what he was thinking. Lu Ming continued to ignore Xie Zhen and Xie Qiu. He did not even look at them as he continued to face Xie Qitian. Bloodline is just a tool for martial artists. It depends on how you use it. If you use it well, it's good. If you don't use it well, it's not good. Why do we have to look at the attribute? The key is the person using it. Lu Ming's voice was loud and clear. He was neither servile nor overbearing. He was not afraid at all as he argued. Ridiculous. Xian Yanqing has a different bloodline. That's a rebel bloodline. If she was set free, she would have turned against the imperial family. Xie Zhen continued to berate. Ah, ridiculous. What is a rebel bloodline? Back then, the chaotic Sky Emperor was forced out. If the imperial family treated him equally, without humiliation or oppression, how could he betray us? Lu Ming laughed. As soon as he said this, everyone was shocked. Boom! 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 Suddenly, a terrifying aura erupted from the imperial family. Cold killing intent shrouded Lu Ming. How dare you? You're courting death. You deserve to die. You've committed a heinous crime. Roars rang out as powerful existences were enraged. Terrifying auras filled the air as if the world was about to be destroyed. Endless pressure pressed down on Lu Ming. Among them, there were quite a number of powerful figures at the supreme level. Boom! Lu Ming used all his strength to resist, but he was still suppressed by the pressure. His body shook violently and he quickly retreated. A mouthful of blood flowed out from the corner of his mouth. The chaotic Sky Emperor was a taboo of the imperial family. Lu Ming dared to mention it on such an occasion. This was a sore spot for the imperial family. Sacred Emperor, there is an ancient saying that a monarch is not joking. Moreover, you're the sacred emperor. Do you want to go back on your words? Lu Ming shouted. Since he had come this far, there was no way out. Lu Ming had nothing to fear. He could only move forward bravely. When I said that I would agree to a condition, I was referring to something that I could do. Xie Qitian said. What's so difficult about my condition? Moreover, Yanqing is your daughter, your biological daughter. Did you give birth to her just to lock her up for life? Lu Ming shouted. The true essence in his body circulated crazily. The five-colored intent enveloped his body to resist the pressure from the outside. How dare you? Men, kill this man! Xie Zhen shouted. His killing intent was boundless and his face was ferocious. Back then, when he was in Nine Dragon City, he went there as the prince of the ancient sage dynasty. He should have been high and mighty and everyone would surround him. However, in the end, Lu Ming defeated him in front of everyone and made him lose face. He had always hated Lu Ming. Even after so long, he hadn't forgotten about it. Now that he had such an opportunity, he naturally wanted to cut Lu Ming into pieces. Kill! Two guards in iron armor shouted. Terrifying auras erupted and they were about to step out and kill Lu Ming. Everyone sighed. They thought that Lu Ming was going to die today. It was a pity that such a genius would die. Enough! At this moment, Xie Qitian said faintly. He waved his hand gently and the two guards immediately stopped. The other members of the imperial family also restrained their auras. Lu Ming felt his body relax and he let out a long breath. Lu Ming, I'm the emperor and I'm a man of my word. However, your condition is an important matter for the royal family. I can't agree to it so easily. How about this? Nianqing is now in the 9 underworlds demon realm, fighting for the royal family and hunting the demon Sha clan. If you're willing to enter the 9 underworlds demon realm and hunt the demon Sha clan, and when you've killed enough demon Sha clan members and accumulated enough merits for the royal family, I'll let you leave together. Xia Qiqian said after pondering for a while. Chapter 1135. Sacred Emperor, are you serious? Lu Ming stared at Xia Qiqian. I'm a man of my word. Everyone who enters the abyss of demons realm and kills the demon Sha clan will get points. As long as you can get 10,000 points, I promise to let the two of you go and never interfere with Nianqing's affairs again. Xia Qiqian said. Okay, I promise. Lu Ming said. In front of so many emperors and people, Lu Ming believed that Xia Qiqian would not go back on his word. Lu Ming also knew that it would not be easy to kill the demon Sha clan in the abyss of demons realm, but there was still hope. Moreover, his identity had been exposed, and De would know soon. In the abyss of demons realm, not only could he find Xia Nianqing, but he could also avoid De temporarily. For Lu Ming, it was killing 2 birds with 1 stone. At this time, Xia Zhen, Xia Qiyu, and the others' eyes flickered, but they did not say anything. No one knew what they were thinking. Okay, it's settled. When the banquet is over, I'll ask someone to take you to the abyss of demons realm. Xia Qiqian said. Then, Xia Qiqian asked Heartless Monk about his conditions. Heartless Monk was smart and said not to mention it for the time being. Okay, 3 days later, the top 10 can enter the Sacred Emperor Ancient Palace to comprehend. Xia Qiqian announced. Then, the banquet continued. The banquet lasted for half a day before it ended. The overlords began to leave one by one. The Wang family patriarch, Jiang family patriarch, Di Shen, and the others also left in a hurry. They had to rush back to the eastern wilderness to report to De about Lu Ming. It was too strange. Lu Ming was still in the Talisman Puppet sect, so why did he suddenly appear in the central continent and enter the abyss of demons realm? They had to let De know as soon as possible. Soon, the crowd dispersed. Lu Ming, come with us. 2 guards in iron armor came to Lu Ming and said with a cold expression. Lu Ming swept his gaze across the 2 of them and discovered that he could not see through their cultivation level. It was unfathomable. To the abyss of demons realm? Lu Ming said. That's right. The Sacred Emperor ordered us to bring you to the 9 underworlds devil domain. The entrance to the 9 underworlds devil domain is to the north of the holy city. One of the armored guards said. Please. Lu Ming nodded. The 2 armored guards took the lead, and Lu Ming followed behind them, heading north of the holy city. Not long after, they arrived at the north side of the Saint City. Then, they passed through layers upon layers of barriers and arrived before a giant door made of light. Along the way, Lu Ming calculated that they had passed through a total of 18 checkpoints. Each checkpoint had an extremely powerful formation and was guarded by a powerful expert. From this, it could be seen that the royal family placed great importance on this place. This is the entrance to the demon realm of the 9 underworlds. Take this jade pendant. As long as you kill a member of the demon temple in the demon realm of the 9 underworlds, the jade pendant will sense it and you will get the corresponding points. But in the depths of his eyes, there was a trace of a sneer. Thank you. Lu Ming took the jade token and put it away. Okay, let's go in. One of the guards said. Lu Ming nodded, then turned around and stepped into the light door, disappearing from sight. He wants to get 10,000 points in the demon realm of the 9 underworlds? What a fool's dream. He'll stay there for the rest of his life. The Holy Emperor's move is brilliant. The 2 guards sneered, then turned around and strode away. At this moment, Xia Zhen and Xia Qiyu were sitting opposite each other in a hall in the royal palace. Brother, your move is brilliant. Not only did you shut Lu Ming's mouth, but you also fulfilled your promise. I'm really impressed. Xia Qiyu took a sip of spiritual tea and smiled faintly. It's almost impossible to get 10,000 points by killing a member of the demon temple in the demon realm of the 9 underworlds. But I still feel uneasy. Xia Zhen frowned and said, Xian Yanqing, that bitch, is too talented. He's not weaker than the overlord-level Heaven's Pride. Moreover, he awakened a dark bloodline. He's like a fish in water in the demon realm of the 9 underworlds. He can still cultivate and improve his cultivation. As for Lu Ming, he is even more shocking. More than 3 years ago, he was only at the Spirit Sea realm and his cultivation level was lower than mine. However, in just slightly more than 3 years, his cultivation level has soared to the 3rd level of the Spirit God realm. His combat ability is even more shocking. He has defeated many giants and supreme talents consecutively. In my opinion, apart from Long Chen, no one can suppress him. I can't rest easy as long as such a person is alive. You want to kill him in the demon realm of the 9 underworlds? Xie Tianyu said. Yes, but although Lu Ming's cultivation is only at the 3rd level Spirit God realm, his battle strength is too terrifying. I'm afraid that ordinary 6th level Spirit God realm experts are no match for him. To kill him, we'll have to send 7th level Spirit God realm experts or even stronger existences. But with my authority, I can't mobilize such powerful existences, so I need Uncle's help. Xia Zhen said. Yes, you're right. Lu Ming can't be left alive. Moreover, we'll take this opportunity to kill that freak Xian Yanqing as well. Xia Qiyu's face revealed a cold smile. Thank you, Uncle. Xia Zhen was overjoyed and thanked him. After Lu Ming stepped into the light door, he stepped out of another light door in the next moment. Where is this? Lu Ming glanced around and found that he had arrived at another place. This place seemed to be a city. Above the city, there was a huge light screen that enveloped the entire city, and the scene outside the light screen couldn't be seen clearly. Is this the demon realm of the 9 underworlds? Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. Another person has come. A voice came from the side, and Lu Ming saw a few burly men in armor. Brothers, is this the demon realm of the 9 underworlds? Lu Ming stepped forward and asked. Yes, this is the demon realm of the 9 underworlds. We're the martial artists of the imperial family, and we're responsible for guarding this city to prevent the Masha clan from attacking the exit. Why are you here? One of the burly men explained and then asked. I'm here to kill the Masha clan and earn points. Lu Ming said, but he didn't tell the truth. Another exile. Hearing Lu Ming's words, the burly men's faces turned cold, and they sneered. Exile? Lu Ming frowned. All right, you'll stay in this city for the night. The moon is in the sky now, and the demon chi is at its thickest. In order to prevent the demon chi from seeping in, the city is now closed and won't be opened. You can leave the city tomorrow. One of the burly men in armor waved his hand casually. Lu Ming nodded and didn't ask any more questions. He strode out of the place. Soon, Lu Ming came to a street and found that there were quite a lot of people here. However, each of them had a strong aura, and they were all experts. With a sweep of his spiritual sense, he found that there were many existences in the spiritual god realm. These people were all sent by the imperial family to guard this place. Lu Ming walked around and asked around. As expected, he couldn't leave the city now and had to wait until the next day. Lu Ming found a quiet place, sat cross-legged, and waited quietly. Chapter 1136. As soon as the 4 old men appeared, they exuded a terrifying aura, causing the expressions of the burly men to change drastically. Gentlemen, where did you come from? One of the burly men asked. One of the old men waved his hand, and a token appeared in his hand. When the burly men saw the token, they immediately straightened their bodies and showed respect on their faces. So it's you, sirs. May I know what brings you here? One of the burly men asked cautiously. Did a young man come in earlier? The old man with the token asked. Are you talking about that exiled person? He came in about an hour ago. He should be somewhere in the city now. The burly man in the armor replied respectfully. Somewhere in the city. The four old men nodded and left. Time flew by, and in the blink of an eye, it was the second day. Lu Ming flew toward the city wall. Those who want to leave the city, hurry up. At the city gate, a burly man in armor shouted. At this time, the city gate had opened, and only one person could pass through at a time. From the opening, black mist filled the air. Lu Ming's body flashed, and he rushed out of the opening. Is this the 9 underworlds demon realm? After rushing out of the city, the light suddenly dimmed. The light between heaven and earth was very dim, and there was a black mist floating between heaven and earth. The entire land was dark. Looking up, there was a sun in the sky, but the sun was also dark, and it looked very depressing. This place is filled with dense demon chi, but there is no spiritual chi of heaven and earth. Lu Ming sensed that there was no spiritual chi of heaven and earth in this place, and it was filled with dense demon chi. For ordinary warriors, it would be very difficult to cultivate here. Because there was no spiritual chi of heaven and earth, they could only absorb demon chi and refine it. However, the difficulty of refining demon chi was dozens or hundreds of times more difficult than refining spiritual chi of heaven and earth. But for Lu Ming, it did not matter. He had the 9-dragon bloodline and could devour and refine everything. He could also quickly refine demon chi. Little Qing, where are you? Lu Ming looked into the distance, and his body moved, turning into a beam of light and rushing forward. Not long after Lu Ming disappeared, 4 old men rushed out of the city behind him. Their expressions changed, and they chased after Lu Ming. Lu Ming went forward, looking at the 9 underworlds demon realm. The 9 underworlds devil realm was vast and boundless, with mountains, rivers, and rivers. It was said that it was an extremely large mid-sized plane that had automatically evolved into a boundless world. There were also countless creatures living here, all types of plants, too many to count. Moreover, most of the plants were black or dark red, and so on. There were also powerful demonic beasts here. However, these demonic beasts were born by absorbing demonic chi. They were called demonic beasts. Their intelligence was on the lower side, but they were very strong. Of course, the ruler of the 9 underworlds demon realm was the Masha clan. It was said that the Masha clan used to be a big clan in the Divine Wilderness continent in ancient times, and they occupied a large territory. Later, they were defeated by the human race, and fled to the 9 underworlds demon realm. But they were still very strong, and they often attacked the ancient Saint Dynasty Xie family. Therefore, the imperial family sent a large army to guard the entrance. Moreover, the Masha clan was very cunning, and they could fly in the 9 underworlds demon realm. It was difficult to kill them. Although the imperial family Xie family would send experts to kill them every once in a while, it was impossible to kill all of them, and they were a big problem for the imperial family. There was also a rumor that the reason why Xie Wan, the Emperor of Chaos, could start a rebellion and hurt the imperial family Xie family was because of the help of the Masha clan. Whoosh! Suddenly, a beam of black light shot out from a mountain peak below. It was moving at an alarming speed, aiming for Lu Ming. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. He stretched out 2 fingers and accurately flicked the black light away. This is the Masha clan. Lu Ming looked at the creature that had attacked him. It was a short humanoid creature that was 2 heads shorter than Lu Ming. This creature was covered in black hair, and there was a pair of fleshy wings on its back. On its wings, there were sharp black bone spikes. The bone spikes that had stabbed at him just now were the same kind of bone spikes. Moreover, this creature had a mouth full of fangs, and its appearance was incomparably hideous. It was like the legendary Azura. This was the Masha clan. Human, kill! The Masha clan roared. In his hand, there was a black bone spike. With a flap of his fleshy wings, he rushed towards Lu Ming at an extremely fast speed. The bone spike in his hand was like a sharp sword, stabbing towards Lu Ming. This Masha clan had the battle power of a human martial arts practitioner at the 5th level of Spirit Embryo Realm. Lu Ming waved his hand, and a spear light appeared. With a flash, it flew out like a bolt of lightning, killing this Masha clan member. Then, a jade token appeared in Lu Ming's hand. However, there was no reaction from the jade token. Didn't they say that after killing the Masha clan member, the jade token would give the corresponding points? Why is there no reaction? Lu Ming frowned slightly. Then, he flew closer to the corpse of the Masha clan member, but there was still no reaction. There were no points at all. What's going on? Lu Ming's frown deepened. Not good, Lu Ming, there are a few powerful beings flying towards us at an extremely fast speed. They are coming from the direction of the city that you came from just now. Dandan, who had just arrived at the 9 underworlds devil realm, suddenly cried out. How many powerful beings are there? Could they be here to kill the Masha clan as well? Lu Ming muttered as he looked in that direction. Xiao! 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 4 rainbow lights streaked across the sky and flew towards them at an extremely fast speed, bringing with them a rolling sound of explosions. When they saw Lu Ming, their eyes lit up, and cold murderous intent spread out. There's murderous intent. They are here to kill me. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat, and he retreated without hesitation. Lu Ming, die! An old man in a black robe roared. His voice shook the heavens. Behind him, a silver combat sword was unsheathed. A ray of silver sword gleam lit up the dark Joyo demon realm, splitting the entire sky. The terrifying sword aura instantly crossed a distance of hundreds of miles and slashed toward Lu Ming. Not good, it's the 8th level spirit god realm. Lu Ming's heart trembled. The power of the sword was too terrifying, as if it could destroy everything. Moreover, it was so fast that Lu Ming didn't have time to perform the bloodline fusion. He could only unleash the power of the 9 dragons' bloodline and merge it with his body. At the same time, his glabella lit up, and the small red pagoda appeared. It enlarged rapidly and blocked in front of Lu Ming. Clang! The silver sword light slashed the red pagoda, and the terrifying power sent it flying, crashing into Lu Ming. Lu Ming and the small red pagoda flew back like 2 cannonballs. Boom! Lu Ming crashed into a mountain and broke the peak of the mountain. His body flew back a few miles before he stopped in the air and spat out a mouthful of blood. Chapter 1137. Swoosh! Swoosh! The sound of something breaking through the air could be heard. The 4 elders had already appeared around Lu Ming, surrounding him tightly. Their terrifying aura was released without any concealment, forming a terrifying pressure that pressed down on him. 2 7th level and 2 8th level spirit god realm experts. After sensing briefly, Lu Ming knew the abilities of the 4 of them. The Imperial Xia family is really despicable. Lu Ming wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and revealed a mocking smile. There wouldn't be a second force other than the Imperial Xia family that could enter this place to kill him. He didn't need to guess to know that these 4 people must have been sent by the Imperial Xia family. Lu Ming really didn't expect that the Imperial Xia family, as the imperial family of the ancient Saint dynasty and an ancient family with a heritage of 1,000,000 years, would be so despicable. They promised him in front of others, but secretly sent people to kill him. Moreover, they really thought highly of him. They actually sent 2 7th level and 2 8th level spirit god realm experts. These people belonged to the advanced level of the spirit god realm. Even in the various forces, they were the top experts. Those who could cultivate to the 7th level of the spirit god realm and above weren't weak. Generally, those with 2nd and 3rd level spirit god realm bloodlines wouldn't be able to cultivate to the 7th level of the spirit god realm. Those who could reach the 7th level of the spirit god realm and above would awaken bloodlines that were at least 4th level of the spirit god realm. There was no doubt that these people had mastered a spirit god realm martial skill and were very powerful. Even with Lu Ming's strength, defeating or even killing a 6th level spirit god realm expert wouldn't be a problem. However, he definitely wouldn't be able to defeat a 7th level spirit god realm expert. Not to mention an 8th level spirit god realm existence. Lu Ming wouldn't stand a chance against an 8th-level spirit god realm expert. This time, it could be said that he must be killed. Impudent. You can't judge the imperial family. You want to save a freak like Xian Yanqing? You must be dreaming. A 7th-level spirit god realm old man berated. A saber floated above his head and a terrifying saber intent bloomed in the air. You act one way in front of others. How can you be a member of the imperial family if you do such a despicable thing? No wonder the Xie family declined. Lu Ming sneered. How dare you? You're courting death. Everyone, hold the line for me. Leave this brat to me. I will definitely kill him today. The old man with the floating saber shouted with killing intent. All right, I'll leave him to you. The old man at the 8th level of the spirit god realm that attacked earlier nodded, and then he retreated with the other two to form an enormous encirclement. They surrounded Lu Ming and Chen Shi at the center and blocked off all paths of retreat for Lu Ming. Clang! The battle saber vibrated as it was held in the elder's hand. His eyes were filled with excitement as he smiled malevolently. Lu Ming, remember, the one who killed you is Xie Chu. Chi! The saber slashed down, and the saber power filled the air. A vast and terrifying saber light violently slashed toward Lu Ming. Above Lu Ming's head, the third bloodline appeared. A wisp of power entered Lu Ming's body, turning Lu Ming's long black hair blood red. At the same time, the third bloodline wriggled and turned into a long spear. Swoosh! Lu Ming held the long spear in his hand and swept it out, colliding with the saber light. Bang! A terrifying explosion spread out 1,000 miles. Lu Ming's body shook violently, and his body involuntarily retreated repeatedly. The battle strength of a 7th-level spirit god is indeed terrifying. Lu Ming was secretly alarmed in his heart. The battle strength of a 7th-level spirit god had already completely surpassed Lu Ming's. Die! So what if you're a heaven's pride whose name shakes the world? So what if you're a rare heaven's pride? You're still going to die at my hands. Xie Chu let out a long howl, and his saber intent became even stronger as he charged toward Lu Ming. 9 dragons appeared above Lu Ming's head. Lu Ming transformed into 9 dragons, and with the support of the third bloodline's power, he unleashed a violent attack and fought with Xie Chu. Xie Chu also executed bloodline fusion. Xie Chu's bloodline was a 5th-level divine rank battle saber. Under his 7th-level spirit god cultivation, it was incomparably powerful, and Lu Ming was completely suppressed. In the blink of an eye, they exchanged a few tens of moves, and a few saber injuries appeared on the 9 dragons' bodies. This kid's battle strength is truly shocking. He's actually able to fight Xie Chu for so long with a cultivation at the 3rd level of the spirit god realm. It's simply inconceivable. An old man at the side spoke. Even if he was about to kill Lu Ming, he couldn't help but exclaim with admiration. In the spirit god realm, the further one advanced, the more difficult it was to surmount a level to battle. Being able to exchange so many moves with a 7th-level spirit god expert with a cultivation at the 3rd level of the spirit god realm was truly too shocking and simply inconceivable. They'd lived for a few thousand years, yet it was the first time they'd seen it. This kid's natural talent is truly heaven-defying. Besides Long Chen, there's really no one on the Divine Desolation continent that's a match for him. In the future, he'll become a terrifying and invincible emperor. Unfortunately, this kid is too lawless, and only death awaits him. Another old man spoke with an extremely cold and indifferent voice, but his eyes contained admiration. Kid, die! Xie Chu roared loudly, and his combat strength grew even more violent. After exchanging a few tens of moves, he was actually still unable to kill Lu Ming, and it caused him to feel extremely embarrassed. Moreover, the killing intent in his heart grew stronger and stronger. Old fellow, you've cultivated for a few thousands of years, yet you only possess this little bit of combat strength. If I were you, I would have killed myself a long time ago. Lu Ming ridiculed while swiftly thinking of a way to escape in his heart. The surroundings were locked down by 3 experts, and it was too difficult to break out of the encirclement. Mainly because 8th level spirit gods were too strong. If there were 4 7th level spirit gods, then Lu Ming was fully confident in his ability to break out of the encirclement with the 9 dragons' heaven trampling steps. However, there were 2 8th level spirit gods, so Lu Ming's chances of breaking through were extremely small. Kid, do you think you're a genius? A dead genius isn't a genius. Let me tell you, after I kill you today, I'll go kill that bastard, Xian Yanqing. All of you can dream of leaving this place. Xia Chu shouted coldly as his attacks grew even more violent. Bang! Killing intent surged from Lu Ming, and his eyes were blood red as he roared furiously. All of you still want to kill little Qing. That despicable bastard should have died long ago. This time, we'll get rid of him once and for all. Xia Chu sneered. All of you should die. Die! Kill! 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 Lu Ming let out a furious roar. His third bloodline vibrated, and strands of energy surged towards Lu Ming, filling Lu Ming's heart with endless killing intent. Initially, when Xia Chu said that they were going to kill Xian Yanqing, Lu Ming's murderous intent was already terrifyingly intense. In addition, he had borrowed more power from the third bloodline. There was only murderous intent in his mind. Endless murderous intent. Kid, stop. You can't borrow too much power from your third bloodline. Otherwise, you'll become a puppet that only knows how to kill. Dandan called out beside Lu Ming, allowing Lu Ming to barely retain a trace of clarity. At this moment, Lu Ming's body seemed to be filled with endless power. The 9 dragons emitted a dense blood-red color. Whoosh! The 9 dragons clawed at Xia Chu. Oh no, this power! Xia Chu's pupils suddenly widened, revealing a look of horror. In an instant, he felt that Lu Ming's power had increased exponentially, especially the killing intent. It was extremely terrifying, as if it wanted to kill all living things in the world. It made his heart turn cold and tremble. The 9 dragons clawed at him, and he felt as if he was about to suffocate. Chapter 1138. Bang! Xia Chu's body was directly blasted flying, and he spat out large mouthfuls of blood. He was enveloped by boundless killing intent and couldn't unleash his full strength at all. Coupled with Lu Ming borrowing even more power from the third bloodline, he directly injured Xia Chu with an all-out attack. Subsequently, the 9 dragons roared and directly collapsed. But amidst the light of the 9 dragons' collapse, an enormous steel rushed out and emitted a dazzling radiance. Prison-suppressing steel bloodline. As soon as the prison-suppressing steel bloodline appeared, it rapidly enlarged and became as large as a mountain. The prison-suppressing steel was similarly suffused with a dense bloody light as it pressed down on Xia Chu with a powerful momentum. Help! Feeling the terrifying killing intent and aura on the prison-suppressing steel that suppressed everything, Xia Chu cried out in horror. Stop! The other 3 experts at the side shouted and charged towards Lu Ming. But Lu Ming ignored them and continued to press down on Xia Chu. No! Xia Chu roared and resisted with all his might. But at this moment, he was injured and his combat strength was greatly reduced. How could he resist? Puff! As the prison-suppressing steel pressed down, Xia Chu spat out large mouthfuls of blood as the blood vessels all over his body ruptured. In the next moment, his entire body exploded with a bang. Xia Chu, a 7th-level spirit god expert, was killed by Lu Ming on the spot. Bang! 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 At this moment, the other 3 attacks blasted onto the prison-suppressing steel at the same time, causing it to be sent flying. It emitted a violent vibration and almost collapsed. Kill! 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 The prison-suppressing steel shook as Lu Ming's cold and emotionless voice continuously sounded out from it. This kid can't be allowed to live. An 8th-level spirit god old man spoke and was extremely shocked in his heart. A 3rd-level spirit god martial artist was actually able to kill a 7th-level spirit god expert. It was truly too shocking, and he had never heard of it before. He felt a chill in his heart and was filled with the desire to kill Lu Ming. 2 8th-level spirit gods and 1 7th-level spirit god released a terrifying aura that firmly locked onto Lu Ming. "Today, all of you will die." Lu Ming's cold voice rang out. He wanted to borrow more power from his third bloodline to kill all of these people. "Lu Ming, you can't continue borrowing the power of your bloodline. Otherwise, you won't be able to maintain your consciousness." Dandan shouted. "Kill! We must kill these people!" Lu Ming shouted. At this moment, there was only a trace of clarity left in his mind. It was as if he would be swallowed up and drowned by the endless killing intent at any moment. However, it was obviously not enough to kill an 8th-layer spirit god, and he needed to borrow even more strength. However, once he borrowed even more strength, Lu Ming would find it difficult to maintain the tranquility in his heart, and he would definitely be devoured by the boundless killing intent. But at this point, was there any other way? Lu Ming could only go all out. Fine, I'll go all out this time. Brat, there's no need to continue borrowing power." Dandan let out a long sigh and flew away from Lu Ming's side towards the 3 experts. "You 3 brats, if you can witness my true power today, you can die without regrets," Dandan said. At this moment, his body was emitting a dazzling light, and a terrifying aura was emitted from Dandan's body. This aura was high and mighty, as if he was the ruler of the world, overlooking the countless lives. It was like he was the world, and the world was him. In the dazzling light, Dandan's body grew at a terrifying speed. In the end, he turned into a divine turtle that was as tall as the sky, and even bigger than a 10,000-foot-tall mountain. This is... The 3 old men turned pale with fright as they felt a fatal threat from the giant divine turtle. "Die!" A voice came out of the giant divine turtle's mouth. The giant turtle clawed at the 7th-layer spirit god expert. The 7th-layer spirit god expert wanted to dodge, but he realized that he couldn't move his body. He was imprisoned there as if he was locked by a world. "No!" He roared as he saw the giant claw coming down, and his body exploded. "Not good, run!" The remaining 2 8th-layer spirit god experts roared in horror. They wanted to escape, but their bodies seemed to have sunk into a quagmire, and it was extremely difficult to move. "Kill!" The giant turtle spat out the word, "kill," and 2 rays of light shot out from its mouth, piercing through the 2 8th-layer spirit god experts' foreheads and killing them. 2 8th-level spirit god realm experts had died just like that. Even though Lu Ming was filled with endless killing intent, he was still dumbfounded. After killing the 3 experts, the giant turtle shrunk rapidly and turned back into a little turtle. It lay in the air weakly and shouted, "What a loss, what a loss! I've been accumulating energy for so long, and it's almost gone in an instant. Lu Ming, you must accompany me, accompany me." Dandan shouted and floated towards Lu Ming weakly. "Let's go." Lu Ming's mind still had a trace of clarity. He waved his hand and put Dandan and the 2 8th-layer spirit god experts' corpses into the mountain and river diagram. His body moved, and he left this place. Such a big commotion just now would definitely alarm the experts in the city. He had to leave as soon as possible. Lu Ming turned into a ray of blood-red light and crossed the boundless earth. Soon, he appeared 1,000,000 miles away. He found a secret place and entered the mountain and river diagram. Once he entered the mountain and river diagram, Lu Ming sat cross-legged under the Enlightenment ancient tree. He closed his eyes and did his best to resist the endless killing intent. The endless killing intent seemed to be able to drown Lu Ming at any time and turn Lu Ming into a killing machine. The blood-red light on his body flickered. Slowly, the blood-red light faded and returned to the 3rd bloodline. He sat there for half a month. Half a month later, the power of the 3rd bloodline was completely withdrawn into the 3rd bloodline, and Lu Ming withdrew it to his spine. At the same time, he dispelled the endless killing intent in his heart. At this time, Lu Ming opened his eyes. There was no longer any killing intent in his eyes, and they were clear and bright. Huff! Lu Ming let out a long breath. This time, it was really close. The killing intent in the third bloodline had almost devoured his mind. The third bloodline was a double-edged sword. He had to be cautious when using it. If his cultivation was not high enough and he borrowed too much power, he would be drowned in the endless killing intent. This time, fortunately, Dandan made a move at the end. Otherwise, he would have to borrow even more power. In that case, Lu Ming would very likely be drowned by the endless killing intent and become a killing puppet. At the thought of Dandan, Lu Ming looked to the side and happened to see Dandan lying there, chewing on a stalk of spirit medicine in her mouth. She looked weak. Seeing that Lu Ming had woken up, Dandan jumped on Lu Ming's shoulder and shouted, "Lu Ming, this time I lost too much. My vitality is greatly damaged. You have to compensate me for the spiritual herbs, or I'll never let you off." "Okay, I'll give you any spiritual herbs that I don't need in the future." Lu Ming smiled and waved his hand, and a pile of spiritual herbs appeared. Dandan's eyes lit up. It swallowed all the spiritual herbs in one gulp and left them to eat slowly. "Boy, at least you have some conscience." Chapter 1139. It's indeed powerful. This time, Lu Ming was full of heartfelt admiration. Lu Ming was shocked that Dandan could turn into such a terrifying giant tortoise and kill an 8th-layer spirit god in an instant. "Don't make a fuss. Let me tell you, if it weren't for the fact that my strength is far from recovered, I would be much stronger than that. I'm the world tortoise, the leader of the top 10 battle beasts. If I were at my peak and transformed into my true form, I would be as big as the world. Not to mention a mere 8th-layer spirit god, even a martial emperor would be killed by me." Dandan was smug. He felt comfortable all over at the sight of Lu Ming's impressed expression. "Could it be that you surpassed the martial emperor realm at your peak?" Lu Ming asked curiously. Lu Ming naturally believed that Dandan was a super expert who had been reborn. Otherwise, it would be impossible for it to have such means. Nonsense, which one of the top 10 battle beasts isn't an invincible existence? Martial emperors are nothing. Take your 9 dragons for example. If they were at their peak, they would be able to devour the sun and moon with a single gulp. What martial emperors? They would be able to devour everything in one gulp. Dandan had an invincible confidence. It then sighed and said, "I don't know if any of the top 10 battle beasts survived except for me. The battle back then, sigh." In the end, Dandan let out a long sigh. Lu Ming pricked up his ears and listened carefully. Now, with Dandan's recovery, his memory seemed to have recovered a lot. He might even be able to hear some unknown secrets from him. Dandan glanced at Lu Ming and said, "Sigh, I'm too weak. I need a good rest." After saying this, it ran away and disappeared in the blink of an eye. Lu Ming was speechless. He then moved and appeared on another mountain. The corpses of the 2 8th-layer Spirit God Realm elders were still lying there. The corpses of Spirit God Realm experts would not rot even after a few years or decades. Unfortunately, the true Qi and blood Qi have already dissipated. Lu Ming sensed it and sighed, feeling that it was a bit of a waste. However, the blood essence should still be there. The blood essence of an expert at the 8th level of the Spirit God Realm probably won't disperse even after a year has passed. With a thought, Lu Ming activated his 9 dragons bloodline and unleashed his devouring power. A total of 18 pearl-like drops of blood essence flew out and were devoured by the 9 dragons. Lu Ming sat down cross-legged and began to refine them. The blood essence and blood essence energy of 2 8th-level spirit god martial artists were shockingly dense. Lu Ming started to refine them with all his might. Around the 9 dragons bloodline, 7 golden chakras shone dazzlingly. As the power of the essence blood continued to be refined and integrated, the 7 golden chakras shone brighter and brighter. After a short while, with a hum, another pale golden chakra emerged. The 8th golden chakra. His 9 dragons bloodline improved by another level, becoming a rank 8 divine bloodline. The 9 dragons bloodline let out a long roar as its body rapidly enlarged and lengthened. It had doubled in size and looked even more majestic. "Withdraw." With a thought, Lu Ming had the 9 dragons' bloodline shrink rapidly, turning into a ray of bloodlight and entering Lu Ming's spine. As expected, there's an extra dragon force. Wait, this dragon force is so powerful. Lu Ming's eyes lit up when he sensed it slightly. The upgrade of the 9 dragons' bloodline also gave birth to an extra dragon force. However, Lu Ming felt that the 8th dragon force was so powerful that it was comparable to the previous 7 dragon forces combined. In fact, before this, Lu Ming had already discovered that every dragon force would be stronger than the previous one. However, the extent of the increase was very limited. It would not be too exaggerated. However, the 8th dragon force was much stronger than the 7th dragon force. A rank 8 divine bloodline is indeed extraordinary. No wonder only those who have awakened a rank 8 divine bloodline can be called second-class geniuses in the central continent. A rank 7 divine bloodline is much weaker than a rank 8 divine bloodline. Lu Ming pondered and a smile appeared on his face. The stronger the dragon force was, the stronger his battle strength would be when he unleashed it. Lu Ming was looking forward to seeing what would happen when the 9 dragons bloodline reached the highest rank, the rank 9 divine bloodline. How strong would the dragon force be? There was a huge difference between a rank 8 divine bloodline and a rank 9 divine bloodline. It could be seen by looking at the difference between a tycoon-level genius and a second-class genius. If both the 9 dragons bloodline and the prison-suppressing steel bloodline reached rank 9 divine bloodline, how strong would Lu Ming's battle strength be? If Lu Ming unleashed all of his dragon force now, he would definitely have an easier time and win against other tycoon-level geniuses such as the Underworld Child and the Cerberus. Then, Lu Ming put away the storage rings of the 2 old men. With a wave of his hand, flames spread out and turned the bodies of the 2 old men into ashes. Who sent people to kill me? Lu Ming pondered with a frown. At first, he thought it was Xie Qitian who sent people to kill him. But later, those people said that they wanted to kill Xie Nianqing after killing him. This made Lu Ming speculate that it shouldn't be Xie Qitian. If Xie Qitian wanted to kill Xie Nianqing, he would have done it long ago. Why wait until now? Lu Ming guessed that it was someone else who sent people. Could it be Xie Zhen? But does Xie Zhen have such great power to mobilize an 8th-level spirit god expert? Lu Ming pondered. Xie Qitian had more than a dozen princes under him. Xie Qitian's talent was very ordinary, so he might not have such great power. There should be someone helping Xie Zhen. Could it be Xie Qiyu? Because these 2 people wanted Lu Ming dead the most. At the same time, Xie Zhen had sent people to assassinate Xie Nianqing. Therefore, he was the most likely. Xie Zhen. Lu Ming's eyes were filled with murderous intent. This person was someone that Lu Ming must kill. After pondering for a while, Lu Ming came out of the mountain river diagram and continued to head towards the depths of the 9 underworlds. This time, Lu Ming slowed down. Along the way, he encountered quite a number of Devil Temple clansmen who attacked him. They were all at the Spirit Embryo realm. There were those at the 7th, 8th, and 9th level of Spirit Embryo realm. They were all easily killed by Lu Ming. However, no points appeared on the Jade token. Could it be that Xie Qitian lied to me? Lu Ming's eyes shone with a cold light as he continued to fly. After a day, Lu Ming didn't know how far he had traveled when a city appeared in front of him. Looking from afar, there were figures on the city. They were human martial arts practitioners and not Devil Temple clansmen. This should be the gathering place of the human race. Lu Ming's eyes lit up as he flew towards the city. If there were people, he could ask them about Xie Nianqing. As Lu Ming approached, the people on the city noticed him and looked at Lu Ming coldly. It's a human. On the city wall, someone whispered with a bright gaze. Who are you? Someone on the city wall asked. I just entered the 9 underworlds not long ago. Please let me in. Lu Ming said. Newcomer. The eyes of the people on the city wall lit up even more as they said, since you are a human, come in. Lu Ming nodded and flew up the city wall towards the city. The city wasn't big, so there were even fewer people on the road. Chapter 1140. As soon as Lu Ming flew into the city, numerous pairs of eyes looked at him. He's new. It's not the time for the imperial family to send people to hunt the Masha clan. Looks like this person offended the imperial family and was exiled here. He's so young. He's probably a genius of some power. He's definitely rich. Leave this person to me. I need origin stones. Bullshit. Who doesn't need origin stones? This kid is mine. Numerous voices sounded out in the surroundings, and all of them stared at Lu Ming with burning gazes. These voices naturally entered into Lu Ming's ears. Lu Ming frowned as a trace of cold light blossomed from his eyes. He's mine. There was an angry bellow and a burly figure dashed out. He lifted his big hand and pressed it toward Lu Ming. Space trembled without end as a powerful force surged towards Lu Ming. This was a first-level spirit god realm expert. You're courting death. Lu Ming's gaze went cold as he slashed out with his palm. His palm was like a heavenly blade that slashed onto this person's palm. Crack! The bones in this person's palm were directly broken by Lu Ming. He let out a shrill cry as his figure retreated madly, and he looked at Lu Ming with astonishment. This person has some ability. Attack together. Someone shouted loudly. Instantly, 7 or 8 figures pounced towards Lu Ming. These figures were actually domain-enlightened spirit god realm experts. There were first-level spirit god realm experts, second-level spirit god realm experts, and the strongest was third-level spirit god realm experts. The 8 of them attacked together and their momentum was extremely terrifying. All kinds of attacks covered Lu Ming's entire body. If it was an ordinary martial artist at the 3rd level of the spirit god realm, he would be injured or even suppressed under the siege of so many experts. But how could an ordinary 3rd level spirit god realm expert compare to Lu Ming? He circulated the hell-suppressing heaven art and slashed out 8 times in succession. Bang! 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 8 explosions sounded out, followed by a wave of the sound of bones breaking and shrill cries. The 8 figures spat out blood as they retreated, crashing heavily into the surrounding buildings. No matter if it was a 1st-level spirit god, a 2nd-level spirit god, or even a 3rd-level spirit god, they all suffered the same fate. And this was Lu Ming showing mercy. Otherwise, all of them would have died in one move. Everyone sucked in a breath of cold air as they looked at Lu Ming in horror. It's too terrifying. It's only a single move, yet all 8 experts were heavily injured, and even that expert at the 3rd level of the spirit god realm was no exception. What sort of combat strength is this? Moreover, he looked so young, which was even more unbelievable. Could it be that he's one of the top geniuses outside? Someone said in a trembling voice, causing everyone to shudder. No one dared to make a move. Even though there were a few hundred people in this city, it was impossible for all of them to be at the domain-enlightened spirit god realm. In reality, most of them were at the spirit embryo realm, and there were only a dozen or so at the domain-enlightened spirit god realm. Lu Ming's cold gaze swept across the surroundings. When those people met Lu Ming's gaze, their hearts trembled, and they didn't dare to look directly at Lu Ming. Lu Ming took a step forward and appeared above the expert at the 3rd level of the spirit god realm. It was an old man with white hair and a skinny figure. At this moment, he was looking at Lu Ming in horror. Lu Ming's palm strike just now contained an extremely terrifying power, but it didn't explode. He had a feeling that if it exploded, he would already be dead. Young hero, please spare my life. This old man was confused for a moment. The old man kept begging for mercy. Speak, why did you attack me as soon as I came in? Lu Ming asked coldly. Sigh, we were forced to do so. Young hero, you must have just entered the underworld, right? Allow me to explain to you in detail. The skinny old man sighed, and then he explained in detail. It turned out that these people had offended the imperial family, or simply belonged to the ancient Saint dynasty. Because of their mistakes, they were exiled to the underworld to hunt the Devil Temple clan to atone for their sins. However, the Devil Temple clan was innumerable in the underworld demon domain, and they were scattered everywhere. It was very dangerous. As for the martial artists of the human clan, they absorbed and refined the demon chi very slowly in the underworld demon domain. After a long time, they had already used up the origin stones that they had brought. If the speed of refining the demon chi was too slow, it would be very disadvantageous for them in the battle against the Devil Temple clan. Sometimes, it was not them who hunted the Devil Temple clan, but the Devil Temple clan who hunted them. They had no choice but to gather together and build a city to defend against the Devil Temple clan. This was also the reason why Lu Ming saw this small city now. For the people of the underworld demon domain, what was the most precious thing? Of course, the origin stones were the most precious thing. Therefore, when they saw that Lu Ming had just entered the underworld demon domain, they were naturally greedy and wanted to seize Lu Ming's origin stones. To put it bluntly, these people were just a group of pitiful people. You can all leave. I won't make things difficult for you. Lu Ming waved his hand and dismissed the few people who wanted to fight, leaving only the old man. The skinny old man's cultivation was the highest among these people, and he should be the leader of these people. Young hero, do you have any other orders? The skinny old man looked at Lu Ming, and he was a little nervous. To be honest, he had lived for a long time, but he had never seen such a powerful young expert before. Let me ask you, the imperial family exiled you here to let you kill the Devil Temple clan, so that you can get points. When you have enough points, they will let you go, right? Lu Ming asked. Yes, that's right. However, the points are just a scam. The skinny old man gritted his teeth. A scam? What's going on? Why didn't I get any points from killing the Devil Temple clan? Lu Ming asked. Young hero, the imperial family told you, how many points do you need to get out? The skinny old man asked. 10,000. Lu Ming said. 10,000? The skinny old man's eyes suddenly widened, and he gasped with disbelief on his face. Lu Ming frowned, and he waited quietly for the old man to continue. Haha, young hero, in my opinion, the imperial family has no intention of letting you out at all. They want to keep you here forever. The old man smiled bitterly. What do you mean? Lu Ming's eyes shone brightly. Young hero, you still don't know how points are obtained, right? Let me tell you, killing members of the Devil Sha clan below the domain Enlightened Spirit God realm doesn't give you any points, and only by killing experts at the domain Enlightened Spirit God realm and above can you obtain points. Killing a first-level spiritual god will give you 1 point, a second-level spiritual god will give you 2 points, a third-level spiritual god will give you 3 points, and so on. Killing a 9th-level spiritual god will give you 9 points, and killing a perfect spiritual god will give you 10 points. Killing a Supreme Stage Devil Temple clan member will give you 100 points, and killing a Monarch Stage Devil Temple clan member will give you 10,000 points. The skinny old man explained. Damn it! Lu Ming clenched his fists tightly while killing intent flashed explosively in his eyes. He understood that he'd been tricked. Xie Qitian, a dignified saint emperor, had actually deceived him. According to this conversion, how could he possibly obtain 10,000 points? Killing a first-level spiritual god Devil Temple clan member would only give him 1 point, and killing a perfect spiritual god would only give him 10 points. Even a Supreme Stage Devil Temple clan member would only give him 100 points. This meant that he had to kill 100 Supreme Stage Devil Temple clan members in order to obtain 10,000 points. Besides that, Monarch Stage Devil Temple clan members would give him 10,000 points, but killing a Monarch Stage Devil Temple clan member? Chapter 1141. Perhaps Lu Ming would never be able to obtain 10,000 points in his lifetime. They wanted to imprison Lu Ming in 9 Serenity's demon realm for the rest of his life. What a ruthless and brilliant method. Lu Ming's body emitted a cold murderous intent, which made the skinny old man shudder. Everything will wait until I find Shao Qing. Lu Ming exhaled deeply, and withdrew his murderous intent. Senior, Do you know where Xian Yanqing, the 16th princess, is? Lu Ming finally asked the question that he wanted to ask the most. Nine Serenity's demon realm was too big. It was like looking for a needle in a haystack. This old man had been here for many years, so he might know something. 16th princess. You mean the princess with the bloodline of the royal family? The skinny old man said. Yes. I have some impression of her. 16th princess was exiled to Nine Serenity's demon realm 3 years ago. When she first came here, her cultivation was still weak. She stayed in the periphery of Nine Serenity's demon realm for a while. Later, she stayed in the city for a year. I'm quite familiar with her. Sigh, it's a pity that the royal family treated a rare genius like her so badly. Why are you looking for her? The skinny old man said, and then let out a long sigh, as if he felt sorry for Xian Yanqing. Hearing this, Lu Ming's eyes lit up, and he said, I'm her friend. Senior, do you know where she is now? I don't know. The skinny old man shook his head and said, the royal family asked 16th princess for the same thing as you, 10,000 points. So, after her cultivation improved, she left here and went deep into Nine Serenity's demon realm. Crack! The old man's words made Lu Ming clench his fists, and the murderous intent in his heart bloomed uncontrollably. Lu Ming's heart was very uncomfortable. The murderous intent toward the royal family, Xia Zhen, and Xia Qitian was very strong. They wanted to imprison Xian Yanqing in the 9 underworlds for the rest of his life. Especially 3 years ago. At that time, Xian Yanqing was only at the Sea of Soul realm, but they had already imprisoned Xian Yanqing in the 9 underworlds. It was not hard to imagine how much Xian Yanqing had suffered and how many dangers he had encountered in the past few years. At the thought of this, Lu Ming's heart ached. But now, Xian Yanqing had already entered the depths of the 9 underworlds. Where was he? Lu Ming's thoughts wandered for a long time before he calmed down. Senior, please take these origin stones. Lu Ming gave the skinny old man a storage ring, which contained tens of thousands of origin stones. Then, Lu Ming soared into the sky and left the city, heading towards the depths of the 9 underworlds. In the 9 underworlds, there was also day and night. During the day, there was a dark sun floating in the sky. At night, there was a blood moon in the sky. Moreover, when the blood moon was in the sky, the devil chi in the world was extremely dense. At this time, the devil clan and the demonic beasts would be stronger, while the human race would be suppressed. The blood moon in the sky and the devil chi was vast and mighty. However, to Lu Ming, it did not affect him at all. The 9 dragons' bloodline burst out, devouring the billowing devil chi and refining it into true yuan. Lu Ming flew rapidly into the depths of the 9 underworlds. There were definitely more than a few human race warriors in the 9 underworlds. In the depths of the 9 underworlds, there must be a gathering place of the human race. Lu Ming planned to find the gathering place of the human race and inquire about it. Swoosh! Swoosh! There was a sharp sound of something breaking through the air. A few black figures whizzed over and charged toward Lu Ming. The 3 devil clan members were extremely ferocious. They held bone spears in their hands and stabbed at Lu Ming. Their speed was terrifyingly fast, and their auras were also very strong. These 3 were first-level Spirit God Realm Devil Clan members. With the blood moon in the sky, it was extremely dangerous to walk in the 9 underworlds because many of the Devil Clan members would move out. Roar! The 9 dragons roared, and the devouring power shrouded the 3 Devil Clan members. The 3 Devil Clan members could not move at all, and their eyes were filled with fear. Then, the energy and blood essence of the 3 Devil Clan members were devoured by the 9 dragons, and they turned into 3 dried corpses. The 9 dragons had reached the 8th level of the Divine Realm, and their devouring power was undoubtedly stronger. After killing the 3 first-level Spirit God Realm Devil Clan members, a change finally appeared on the Jade Token, and a number appeared, 3. Lu Ming sneered. Killing a first-level Spirit God Realm Devil Clan member only gave him 1 point. Compared to the terrifying number of 10,000 points, What was the use of this? Lu Ming's figure flashed, and he continued to fly towards the depths of the 9 underworlds. In just a short while, the 3 first-level Spirit God Realm Devil Clan members' blood essence were completely refined by Lu Ming. With Lu Ming's current cultivation, the blood essence of the first-level Spirit God Realm Devil Clan members was naturally useless to Lu Ming. Just like this, Lu Ming continued to travel for 3 days. Along the way, he encountered more than a dozen attacks. Some were from the Devil Clan, and some were from the Devil Beasts here. However, there were not many of them above the Spirit God Realm. Most of the attacks were from the Spirit Embryo Realm. In 3 days, Lu Ming had crossed thousands of mountains and rivers. Die! Human! Kill him! In front of him, a sharp voice sounded. Lu Ming heard it and knew it was the voice of the Devil Clan. Then, a series of explosions sounded in front of him. Apparently, a fierce battle had taken place. Lu Ming did not hesitate and flew towards the source of the sound. After 3 days, he was finally going to meet a human again. In a mountain range, 7 to 8 Devil Clan members were besieging a middle-aged man. The middle-aged man's cultivation was very high. He was at the 4th level Spirit God Realm, and he was fighting with 7 to 8 Devil Clan members. However, the 7 to 8 Devil Clan members were all strong practitioners. The weakest among them was at the 2nd level Spirit God Realm. The rest were at the 3rd level Spirit God Realm, and there was even one at the 4th level Spirit God Realm. With so many Devil Clan members working together, the middle-aged man was at a disadvantage. He could only defend himself and did not have the strength to fight back. Break for me! The middle-aged man fought back with all his strength and chopped a 2nd level Spirit God Realm Devil Clan member to death. However, his back was also cut by a 4th level Spirit God Realm Devil Clan member's bone spur, and blood flowed out. He used all his strength to break out of the encirclement and flew forward. Behind him, the other Devil Clan members chased after him. The middle-aged man was running in the direction of Lu Ming. After flying for some distance, the middle-aged man saw Lu Ming's figure. "Little brother, leave quickly!" The middle-aged man shouted. However, Lu Ming stood in the air and did not move. "Little brother, leave quickly! There are experts of the Devil Clan behind you." Seeing that Lu Ming did not move, the middle-aged man shouted again. He was a little anxious. The corner of Lu Ming's mouth curved into a smile. This middle-aged man had a good heart. He reminded him to leave. If it were an ordinary person, they would have used Lu Ming to block the attack to buy time for themselves. It's just a few Devil Clan members. There's no need to run. Lu Ming smiled. The 9 dragons' bloodline appeared and the devouring power erupted, shrouding the entire Masha clan. The middle-aged burly man looked on in horror. Apart from the 4th level Spirit God Masha clan member, the rest of the Masha clan members shriveled rapidly. In the end, they lost their vitality and turned into dried corpses. Whoosh! Chapter 1142. The middle-aged man was flabbergasted, and he was stunned on the spot. 7 domain enlightened Spirit God Realm clansmen, and the strongest amongst them was in existence at the 4th level of the domain enlightened Spirit God Realm, yet they were instantly annihilated by Lu Ming, and the middle-aged man felt like he was dreaming. Moreover, Lu Ming looked to be so young, yet such combat strength was simply inconceivable. "Big brother, it's done." Lu Ming smiled as he put away the 9 dragons' bloodline, and then he split a portion of his attention to start refining it. Little brother is amazing, truly amazing. I admire you." The middle-aged man stuttered as he sighed with emotion. Lu Ming smiled lightly and didn't say anything. "I'm Du Shan, what's your name?" asked the middle-aged man. "Lu Ming." Lu Ming replied. "Brother Lu, big brother has important matters to attend to, so I can't accompany you. Little brother, be careful." As soon as he finished speaking, Du Shan intended to fly towards a direction. "Big brother Du, what's the matter? Perhaps Lu Ming can be of help." Lu Ming called out to Du Shan. He'd finally encountered another human race cultivator with great difficulty, and Lu Ming was just about to inquire about Xie Nianqing from him, so how could he allow Du Shan to leave so easily? Alas, the human race gathering place I'm at is being besieged by the Devil Sha clan. I received the news and wanted to rush back to provide assistance, yet I never expected that I would be blocked by the Devil Sha clan here. Du Shan sighed and was slightly anxious. The human race gathering place? I'll go with you. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. Alright, perhaps we'll be able to be saved with little brother along. Du Shan's eyes lit up as well. The combat strength Lu Ming revealed earlier was unfathomable and formidable to the extreme, so he intended to ask Lu Ming for help as well. However, Lu Ming had saved him earlier and asked Lu Ming to take a risk with him, so he was truly embarrassed to ask. At this moment, Lu Ming had taken the initiative to ask, so he was naturally overjoyed. Du Shan immediately led the way while Lu Ming followed behind him, and they flew swiftly towards the north. After flying for hundreds of thousands of miles, the sound of battle cries could be heard from the front. In the distance, they could see a fortress made of strange metal. Around the fortress, there was an intense battle going on. More than 1,000 Devil Temple clansmen surrounded the fortress. Among them, there were many existences with powerful auras. Lu Ming scanned them with his spiritual consciousness and discovered that there were dozens of Devil Temple clansmen at the Spirit God realm. The rest were all Devil Temple clansmen at the high stage of the Spirit Embryo realm. On the other hand, there were very few people in the fort, and there were only a little over 20 of them. All of them were domain enlightened Spirit God realm experts, and they were in a battle with the Masha clan. However, they were obviously in a completely disadvantaged position. Human, die! A shrill scream was heard. One of the Demon Sha clan's clansmen had a particularly strong aura. Both of his hands were holding a black, extremely sharp bone spear. His body moved as fast as lightning, dashing towards a human expert. That human expert was at the 3rd level of Spirit God realm, but he couldn't fight back against this Masha clan member. The bone spike pierced through his glabella, and he didn't even have time to scream before he was killed. The peak of the 5th level of Spirit God realm. Lu Ming could tell at a glance that this Masha clan member was at the peak of the 5th level of Spirit God realm. He was the strongest existence in the Masha clan. Among the human martial artists, the strongest was only at the 4th level of Spirit God realm. Damn it, kill! Seeing this, Du Shan shouted loudly and rushed forward with his battle axe. Another one has come to die. The Masha clan member at the 5th level of Spirit God realm glanced at Du Shan coldly and sneered. His demonic aura surged, and his pair of flesh spikes flapped. His body pounced at Lu Ming like lightning. A battle axe floated above Du Shan's head. It was Du Shan's bloodline, a 4th level divine bloodline. Du Shan transformed into a battle axe and slashed at his opponent. Ding! Ding! 2 crisp sounds were heard. The battle axe that Du Shan had transformed into was sent flying far away. Die! The Masha clan member screamed. The bone spike in his hand was thin and long, but it was extremely hard and sharp. It seemed to be able to pierce through everything as it stabbed towards Du Shan. Chi! Chi! 2 jarring sounds were heard. The bone spike of the Masha clan member had pierced through the battle axe that Du Shan had transformed into. An angry roar came from the battle axe. The battle axe shook and dispersed, turning back into Du Shan's body. His face was pale as he retreated quickly. Die! The Masha clan member's eyes were cold. The bone spike pierced through the air and stabbed towards Du Shan's glabella. At this moment, a palm that was like a knife suddenly appeared and slashed at the bone spike. A terrifying force exploded, and the bone spike buzzed and broke into dozens of pieces. The palm knife followed the momentum and struck the shoulder of the Masha clan member. Bam! The shoulder of the Masha clan member exploded, and he was sent flying like a cannonball. A few Spirit Embryo Realm Masha clan members were killed by the impact. Roar! The 9 dragons roared, and a devouring force exploded, enveloping the Masha clan members. The spirit embryo realm Masha clan members were instantly devoured and turned into dried corpses. The first level, second level, and third level spirit god realm Masha clan members screamed in fear and turned into dried corpses under the devouring force. The human martial artists were all stunned. The remaining Masha clan members roared crazily, trying to escape. However, under the terrifying devouring force, they were unable to move as if they had fallen into a quagmire. Kill! Lu Ming rushed over and cut down all the Masha clan members as if he was cutting grass. Swoosh! The fifth-level spirit god realm Masha clan member was only injured, but he was not dead yet. He flapped his wings and turned into a ray of demonic light, trying to escape. He knew that a top human martial artist had come. The attack just now had severely injured him. If he did not escape, only death would await him. However, he was shocked to find that he could not escape at all. Lu Ming's figure was like a flickering shadow. He caught up with the fifth-level spirit god realm Masha clan member in an instant and appeared behind him. Let's die together. Torrential slaughter. Seeing that he could not escape, the Masha clan member roared angrily. Demonic chi soared into the sky. He spread his wings and his body spun rapidly in the air. A pair of wings cut through the air like two sabers, bringing about a torrential attack. It was like a terrifying tornado that could destroy everything. It swept towards Lu Ming. Two streams of dragon power burst out from Lu Ming's body. He then performed the hell-suppressing heaven skill and slashed down with his palm. This palm was like a heavenly saber that had the power to suppress everything. Boom! The torrential attack of the Masha clan member collapsed instantly. The palm slashed on the Masha clan member and killed him. His energy and blood essence were all devoured by Lu Ming. In the castle, the human martial artists stared with their eyes wide open. It seemed that they had not reacted yet. Brother Lu Ming, thank you for saving us again. Otherwise, sigh. Du Shan walked over and thanked Lu Ming. His voice was filled with emotion. If it were not for Lu Ming, he would have been dead long ago. At this time, the human martial artists in the castle came to their senses and flew over to thank him. Especially when they saw that Lu Ming had such battle strength at such a young age, they were even more amazed. I heard that the geniuses of the outside world are rising. The young generation is dominated by the 5 giants. But in my opinion, Brother Lu's battle strength is probably stronger than the 5 giants. A white-haired old man exclaimed. Chapter 1143. Lu Ming quickly said that he didn't dare and then chatted with them for a while. Through the conversation, Lu Ming found out that all of them had offended the royal family or the powerful figures in the ancient Saint dynasty. There were even experts from the overlord forces among them. They might not know each other outside, but they were very united in the abyss of hell. Because in the abyss of hell, if they weren't united, they would be defeated by the Masha clan one by one and be buried here. Similarly, the royal family had set a score for them. As long as they could complete the score, they would be allowed to leave. However, the score was so high that it made them despair. However, they were all spiritual god realm experts who could live for 5,000 years. They weren't willing to be locked up in the abyss of hell for the rest of their lives. Therefore, they hoped that they could accumulate enough points to leave the abyss of hell. Therefore, they would constantly hunt down the Masha clan. In return, the Masha clan would kill them. That was why the Masha clan attacked the city today. In fact, the Masha clan attacking the city was a common occurrence. However, the Masha clan that came today was a little too strong. Little brother Lu, can we have a chat in the castle? Du Shan invited. It's okay. However, I have a question that I would like to ask all of you. Lu Ming cupped his fists and said. What is it? Just say it. As long as I know, I will tell you. The others said one after another. Seniors, may I ask if you have seen 16th Princess? Lu Ming asked. 16th Princess. Are you talking about 16th Princess who has the bloodline of the royal family? I haven't seen her, but I heard that she is in the abyss of hell. Du Shan pondered for a moment and said. Many others shook their heads. I have seen 16th Princess once. A voice sounded, causing Lu Ming's heart to skip a beat. It was the white-haired old woman. Senior, when was that? Where did you see her? Lu Ming asked hurriedly. A few months ago, about a few million miles away from here. I even talked to 16th Princess. She said that she was going to the Devil's Steel Mountain. The old woman replied. What? Devil's Steel Mountain. Everyone else sucked in a breath of cold air. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat and said, Devil's Steel Mountain? Is it very dangerous? Indeed, it's very dangerous. Brother Lu, the Devil's Steel Mountain is a forbidden area in the 9 underworlds. Many powerful Devil Temple clan members have entered the Devil's Steel Mountain and they all died there. Humans are no exception. Du Shan sighed. There's no way out? Lu Ming started to feel anxious. If it was so dangerous, why would Xian Yanqing go? Seniors, do you have a map to the Devil's Steel Mountain? Lu Ming said. Brother Lu, are you going to the Devil's Steel Mountain? That place is extremely dangerous. Although the Devil's Steel Mountain is incomparably dangerous, there are powerful Devil Temple clans residing around the Devil's Steel Mountain all year round. They cultivate in the outer region of the Devil's Steel Mountain, hoping to obtain some good fortune. Therefore, the outer region of the Devil's Steel Mountain is extremely dangerous. Little brother, you have to be careful. The white-haired old woman tried to mediate. Many thanks, seniors. However, Lu Ming must go to the Devil's Steel Mountain. Lu Ming's tone was resolute. Now that he knew Xian Yanqing's whereabouts and that he might be in danger, he had to go even if he had to climb a mountain of swords or enter a sea of flames. Seeing Lu Ming's resolute attitude, Du Shan, the white-haired old O, and the others sighed and stopped trying to persuade him. In the end, the white-haired old O took out a map and gave it to Lu Ming. The map was rough, but it roughly depicted the 9 Nether Devil domains' topography and location. On the map, there was a rough route to the 9 Nether Devil Steel Mountain. Many thanks, seniors. Lu Ming will take his leave. Lu Ming kept the map and bid farewell to the others. He didn't want to waste a second. Lu Ming transformed into a beam of light and pierced through the night sky, heading in the direction of the demonic tablet mountain at an extremely fast speed. On the way, Lu Ming used an illusory aura technique to darken his aura, making it similar to the Devil Temple clan's aura. As expected, it saved him a lot of trouble. The number of Devil Temple clan members who attacked him decreased greatly. Lu Ming's speed was very fast. He was on his way. A few months ago, Xian Yanqing went to the Devil's Steel Mountain. He should have arrived by now. The Devil's Steel Mountain is so dangerous. How is Xian Yanqing now? Thinking of this, Lu Ming's heart was burning with anxiety. He couldn't wait to get to Xian Yanqing's side. The Devil's Steel Mountain was located in the depths of the 9 Nether Devil domain. It was very far away from the castle where Du Shan and the others were. With Lu Ming's speed, it took him 5 days to reach the Devil's Steel Mountain. Lu Ming stood in the air and looked into the distance. He was slightly shocked. This area was filled with mountains as far as the eye could see. There were many mountains and steep ridges with all kinds of strange plants growing on them. However, among the mountains, there was a mountain peak that was extremely prominent. Even from a very far distance, one could see it with a single glance. This was because the mountain peak was too majestic. It was like a crane in a flock of chickens among the mountains. It was high up in the sky and no one knew how high it was. The mountain was shrouded in black mist. It was impossible to see the exact situation of the mountain peak. Is that the Devil's Steel Mountain? Lu Ming thought in his heart. His eyes were filled with shock and doubt. This was because he felt that the suppressing hell steel bloodline in his body was emitting a scorching aura as if it was about to appear from his spine. What's going on? Why is the Devil's Steel Mountain causing the suppressing hell steel bloodline to react? Lu Ming was puzzled. Let's go. With a thought, Lu Ming flew towards the huge mountain that was shrouded in black mist. As he got closer, he could feel the grandeur and majesty of the huge mountain. The other mountains were also tall and majestic. However, compared to this mountain, they were far inferior. The suppressing Hell's Steel Bloodline's reaction was even more intense. Lu Ming's heart jumped. He felt that there was a powerful fluctuation in front of him. It was not just one wave, but several. Each wave contained a powerful devil aura. They were the experts of the Devil Temple clan. Lu Ming withdrew his aura to the extreme and flew forward. That human girl obtained a treasure in the Devil's Steel Mountain. We must not let that treasure fall into the hands of the human race. Let's attack together and kill her. Let's go together. That human girl has been surrounded. She can't escape. She must die today. The treasure in the Devil's Steel Mountain belongs to the Devil Temple clan. A few dry and unpleasant voices sounded. A few figures flew past in front of him. They were all members of the Devil Temple clan. Their auras were very strong. With a quick glance, Lu Ming realized that the Devil Temple clan members were all in the 6th level of the Spirit God realm. Could the person they are talking about be Little Qin? Not good. Lu Ming's expression changed. He followed the 3 Devil Temple clan members from afar. Boom! Boom! Sizzle! Not long after, a violent explosion sounded in front of him. There was also the sound of sharp weapons piercing through the air. There was still a great battle in front of him. This made Lu Ming feel slightly relieved. In front of him, the Devil Temple clan members increased their speed and flew quickly. They were like bolts of lightning. They flew past a few mountains and joined the battle. Not good. Lu Ming used the 9 Dragons' Heaven stomping steps and rushed over the last few hundred miles in an instant. He arrived at the battlefield. In front of him, more than 10 Devil Temple clan experts were besieging a human girl. Seeing the girl, Lu Ming's heart trembled violently.